it's Lisa from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to make a galaxy soap. It's something that I have made one before years and years ago, but I've never done one on my channel. So what I've got here is I've got some scraps that I'm going to use to make my planet embeds. Now, this isn't enough scraps, so what I've done is I've used the same fragrance to make some other sort of quick soap, as it were, that I can then make into embeds. But these are the scraps that I'm using up. So all I've done here, as you can see, I've got some bits and pieces of spare bits I trimmed off a soap that I was making. So to make my little galaxies, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of these bits, bit of each colour, and then just literally just squash them up into balls. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do planets. The typical way that you see a lot of people doing them is exactly what I'm doing, is to take some used soap or soap dough or whatever and squash the planets up and make little round balls, and that's a great way of doing it. A lot of people do this with sort of soap scraps that they've got. The reason I'm not doing that, with lots and lots of soap scraps, is because if you start using soaps off all different bars, then things like labelling and allergens and mixing fragrances and all of that comes into play. And I'm in the UK and it's very difficult for us, anything like that. We basically have to have all our recipes certified. We're not allowed to change our recipe. We're not allowed to mix fragrances or anything. So although I am using scraps, all of these scraps are from one assessed recipe. I know what other colours and things I can use with this, and then I can just make some more as needed. Right, so that's a planet, quite a big planet. So I'm going to just carry on making these. The other way I like doing planets sometimes is to do a tube. Now I've got some already made, because as I said, I made some others, just some scraps up. And sometimes I do them in a tube, and the reason I do a tube is with a ball. You can have a ball and you're not always going to see the slice through the middle of the ball. Sometimes you're going to have a little bit, sometimes you're going to have a bigger bit, and in some ways that's really cute, because when you have your galaxy soap you have all different size planets in it because of how the balls are aligned. Sometimes you'll have a big bit, sometimes you'll have a little bit. I quite like doing tubes as well, because then you're just going to get a consistent shape all the way through. So whichever ones you fancy, I'm going to have a combination of the two of them and various different colours. So I'm just going to carry on making these balls. This is quite a large ball. I might make a lot smaller than this. It takes a long time to make the balls, so galaxy soaps are quite hard work. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on with these. So here are all my little planets that I've got. As you can see, I've got some of the ball ones and some of the tubes. No real rhyme or reason about when I did a ball and when I did a tube. I do find sometimes with soap, when you roll it into a tube, it doesn't stick together very well, and sometimes it can sort of break apart. So if I had that happening with the tube, I then just chopped it up and just turned it into little balls. So there's all those done. These were the ones that I had spare, and these are sort of extra ones I made. And then also in that soap I had some black spare, and I've sort of scraped off the black bits, and as you can see that I've just grated that very fine. So that's going to go in the background of my galaxy soap. I'm going to do this in 3 layers. I'm going to use my slab mould today. So first of all, I'm taking 1/3 of my soap, and I'm going to colour this bit just black, so activated charcoal. So I'm going to put that straight in with my oils. I'm sure I've said this a 1,000 times, but I always predisperse my activated charcoal just like I do with my TD, because activated charcoal makes bubbles in your soap if you put it in fresh, as it were. So I always predisperse it, and then you have nice smooth black areas of your soap. And then I'm just going to add my lye solution and sodium lactate. always pouring slowly over a spatula to again minimise bubbles. Okay, so just a little bit of a blend at first, and then I'm going to put about half of this in. I'm just going to quickly weigh half of that out. So I've got about just over 300 grams of shred there in 1,000 grams of soap. So this should be fine. I'm just going to get that mixed in. And then I do want to blend it in a bit because I want it to be sort of quite speckly rather than stripy. Now I'm probably not going to be able to see the black shred in here very well, and that's fine because I'm just trying to use up this black soap, but there will be little tiny speckles. There's little speckles of pink and little speckles of sort of purple, so those will hopefully just look like speckly bits in the sky. Okay, so this is my fragrance oil. It's Nag Champa from Nature's Garden. Let's get this blended in. And obviously it's just the same fragrance as I had in that original soap. Okay, so I'm just going to get this poured straight into the mould. Okay, now I'm not too worried about getting this pot super clean because I'm going to be doing exactly the same for my top layer. So I'll just be using this jug with the same soap and shred and everything in it again, so no need to spend too long scraping that out. So let's start the fun bit of putting some of these embeds in. Okay, so I've just roughly divided stuff into sort of about a third. I'm not trying to be too super accurate. And the reason I've done this is sometimes when you start taking them out of a pile, it can be kind of difficult to keep track on how many that you've had. Right, so let's get this in. This is a nice thickness now.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights.
Okay, it doesn't matter if they're not, you know, I'm not trying to get any specific pattern, and it doesn't matter if they're not even. I'm not trying to do one type of colour one place and then another or anything like that.
Won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.
Okay, so I think that'll do for my first row. Okay, that's setting up nicely now. So let's go and repeat that. So I'm just going to mix up some more soap. I'm just going to go through and texture this top a little bit, just so we don't end up with straight lines between the layers. Not going to be too fussy about it. I'm just sort of try not to get super straight bits, which will look a little bit funny. Okay, so just poking around. Okay, that's fine. And what I've already done is I've mixed up another amount of soap, the same as that, and now this time I've split it into 3. So in this bit I've got more activated charcoal. In this bit I've got some electric blue from Pure Rock Colours. Now I've deliberately not scraped that out completely because I put a little bit of extra colour in there. I'm going to use that so I have some drizzle left for the top. And this bit is Turquoise Delight from Pure Rock Colours. And again the same thing, just saving a little bit of that colour for the top. Okay, let's get our fragrance in. Okay, and then I'm going to just do this as an in the pot swirl.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for me.
Okay, let's get our mould back. And now, just going to start adding this okay, and that's good. And let's get some of these bits in.
I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
I am just going to go through and try and straighten some of these up because I've put them in there like this because I want them to be going, you know, straight across the soap. Okay. And in we go with our balls again.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Oh, let's skip that out. Okay, so again, I'm going to have some of them up and some of them I'm going to poke down, just so we haven't got them all sitting at the same level. And then I'll leave this to set a little and I will come back and texture this top a bit again. Okay, I'm just going to texture this top again. It's still quite runny, but that's good. That's kind of what I want. Okay, And then I'm going to mix up this last amount. Now, although this is going to be an all black layer, I know there's bits in there because remember this is the drug that I used for the first black layer. I haven't put my activated charcoal in because I just want to pull a little bit off this. Remember those colours I've saved back? Just so I have a little bit, just to do something with the top with. Okay, so I just literally want this for a drizzle on the top, so just tiny bit poured off, hardly anything at all really. Just to sort of clean up those little pots. There we are. Right, let's get that black in again. Okay, so our last layer. I might actually pop some of these in now. And then I can just do my top. Okay, so I'm going to leave that like that. Let's pop it into C-Pop overnight and then we'll see what it's like tomorrow. Here we are the next day with our little Galaxy, well quite a big Galaxy soap actually. So I'm just going to get this chopped up. I've already cut it, as you can see, into loaves. So let's get this cut. Okay, so a good thing about doing it in the slab mould is you get the design in the side as well as through the middle of the bars as well. So let's have a look at what we've got. Hey. So there we are. So you see quite a lot of planets in there, and I like my bit going through the middle. And the good thing is, you say, when you do the little balls, you do get each soap got a million planets in it, each soap being really quite different. Whereas if you do the sort of long sticks through, you get them all being very similar. Okay, so look, can you see how with some of them it looks like hardly any planets and some of them you've got a lot. And what will happen is, where you've got a little planet like this, that's the start of a ball. So what will happen is, as someone uses the soap, that planet will actually get bigger.
And here's a final photo of some of the soaps just to finish off. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you have, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up, because that really does help get my videos shown to more people. If you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel? Thanks for watching everyone. Happy soaping!